Hi, my name's Kris Burtwistle and I head up the UK local government team at AWS. Firstly, I'd like to thank Tech UK for the opportunity to open up this event, an event being delivered from and to homes all up and down the country. It's still taking a little getting used to attending and presenting events in this manner, but you have a great agenda today and some excellent speakers, so I hope you really enjoy it. I wanted to open up by giving a view on the local government sector as we've seen it these past few months. And they've certainly been very different to how we thought this year would be way back in January. But it's been really inspiring to see how our frontline services have responded to the crisis and the way in which all of the public sector has adapted to meet a whole new set of citizen needs. My team have been fortunate enough to work with local authorities on meeting some of those challenges. And I'll very briefly talk you through some of those projects today, as well as some of the wider themes that we're currently seeing in the sector. In terms of the response to COVID, customers have used various end user compute solutions to enable their users to work from home. These are from Horizons on AWS through to Workspaces and AppStream. But there hasn't just been a need to facilitate home working. Local authorities have needed to deploy new tools to deal with a whole new set of customer requirements. One example of this comes from Liverpool City Council, who worked with Civica to develop their community helper solution, which automates processes around requests for support, such as the delivery of food parcels and prescriptions for vulnerable people, and also signposting to resources and information. And during the first half of this year, that's been a common thread to a number of the solutions that customers have been prioritizing. One AWS service that's been able to be utilized in this effort has been Connect, which is our cloud-based contact center solution. And we've lots of examples of customers rapidly deploying Connect, and they follow those two threads of responding quickly to changing citizen needs, but also enabling local authority staff to work flexibly and remotely. One of those examples was Waltham Forest, who were able to deploy it in a matter of days to allow them to operate a full 7-day-a-week service and enable their staff to work safely from home. Similarly, the Royal Borough of Windsor and Maidenhead were able to launch a complete Connect platform in under 2 weeks with support of partner Voice Foundry. This enabled agents to remain in contact with around 3,000 shielded residents, all whilst working remotely. London Borough of Hounslow also used the service to launch a community support hub to support the most at-risk and vulnerable residents, to enable them to receive up-to-date information, as well as receiving essentials and food parcels. And the final story I'll tell you on this topic involves our partner PA Consulting, who developed a solution called WACS, which stands for Wellbeing Automated Call Service, primarily to help Hampshire County Council to support the 50,000 individuals in their region who are shielding. WACS is a bot-driven outbound calling service that asks people how they are and if they need help, and then it makes follow-up calls to check in and make sure that things are still okay, and if anything's changed, and it then records all of the activity to make sure that nobody's missed. And all of that delivered at a fraction of the cost of a traditional call center, and being able to be delivered really quickly, which has been a really important element. Now, later on in the agenda today, you'll hear from Matthew Kane from Hackney, who's taking part in the panel discussion. And Hackney are a great example of a local authority who designed digital services with the citizen at the core. They built a single view of citizens and businesses in their borough. And during the COVID crisis, they were able to use this to identify those in need and target resources to them. They've also published to AWS's Open Government Solutions site, which I would encourage you to visit if you haven't done so already, as that takes solutions that have been deployed by government entities around the world and publishes them such that other customers can reuse and redeploy rather than having to rebuild. And the final theme I'd like to talk to you about today is around AI and automation, and how customers are using technology to save money and improve services. Our partner Methods wrote a guest blog for Tech UK recently, and they referred to the work that they've been doing with Swindon Borough Council, who are using some of our AI and machine learning services to improve the identification and prevention of fly tipping and street scene reporting. This uses a combination of services, but among them is recognition, which is capable of taking images and videos and identifying objects, texts, and scenes from within them. There's another interesting story of one of our healthcare customers who use the same technology to identify patients with dementia who can't remember their details. The paramedics are able to use the information back to the data, match them back to the database with their details, so that they know of any pre-existing conditions or allergies, but also so that they can contact family members. Back to the theme of AI and automation, another partner of ours, Firemines, were tasked by a local authority in the south of England to eradicate repetitive operational work tasks. An example being they receive hundreds of forms a day, from proof of benefits through to parking permit applications, and the processing of these forms is largely a manual process. Firemines were able to build a solution that tied a number of AWS services together to ingest the form, to detect what it is, or to detect what is and isn't included within the document, identify the key components within an image, and then process it all through to the next stage. And this has taken a manual process that took around about 45 minutes per document and has transformed it into something that can be completely automated in just a few seconds. So that's about all I have time for today. I just wanted to highlight some of the interesting work underway in the sector, and some that we've been fortunate enough to have been involved in. But you have some excellent sessions lined up for you today, and I don't want to get in the way of the rest of the agenda any longer. So thank you so much for listening, and if you have any follow-up questions, please do reach out to me. I'd now like to hand over to your keynote, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.